Let me paint you a picture. I'm Mike, a 37-year-old cashier at a grocery store. Been there for over a decade. It's not glamorous, but I like the predictability. Same routine every day. Clock in, scan items, make small talk, pretend not to care when customers complain about prices. You get used to it. I had a system. Get up, work, come home, eat, sleep. Rinse and repeat. It wasn't exciting, but it was comfortable. And I like comfortable. Jessica, my wife, was the ambitious one. She ran an online furniture business, flipping couches and sectionals to rich people who thought spending thousands on a sofa made them interesting. She made decent money, enough to work from home in her pajamas while I spent my days standing for 8-hour shifts, dealing with customers who thought I personally controlled the economy. Not that I minded. Jessica always made it seem like we were a team. Her success was our success. Or at least, that's what I thought. Our marriage was fine. Not thrilling, not miserable, just fine. We had our little routines. Takeout on Tuesdays, movies on Fridays, closeness when we weren't too tired or distracted. That was married life, right? Nobody's in a honeymoon phase forever. I figured as long as we weren't screaming at each other, we were doing okay. But now, looking back, I can see the cracks. The way she started dressing nicer, even when she had no meetings. The sudden interest in skincare, perfume, lace bras, stuff she never cared about before. The way her phone, once left lying around without a thought, was suddenly always face down, always locked, always buzzing. I wasn't paranoid. I was just observant. And the more I observed, the less I liked what I saw. It was gradual at first. I have a late call with a client. I'm grabbing drinks with some people from a business group. I'll be home late, don't wait up. Small things. Easy to dismiss. But when you put them together, it painted a picture that was impossible to ignore. And then came the nights when she'd come home and barely look at me. When our already infrequent moments of closeness became non-existent. When she started making vague comments about needing space or feeling stuck. I tried to tell myself it was just a rough patch. Every marriage has them. But then, on a random Tuesday night, I saw it. She was in the shower. Her laptop was on the kitchen counter, open but locked. Then a message popped up on the screen. Just a preview, but enough to make my stomach drop. Travis, can't wait to see you again. There it was. Proof. A single line that shattered every illusion I had left. I stared at it, my pulse pounding, my vision tunneling. In that moment, I had two choices. I could do what every betrayed husband in every sad story does. Confront her, demand answers, get the tears, the excuses, the gaslighting. Or, I could be smarter. I could be patient. Because Jessica? She thought she was playing a game. She had no idea that I had just decided to play too. And I don't like to lose. I didn't confront her. Not yet. See, that's where most people go wrong. They get emotional, they yell, they demand answers, and suddenly, the cheater gets to control the conversation. They get to cry. They get to apologize. They get to spin some sad little story about how they were lonely, or confused, or some other excuse that makes them the victim. And before you know it, they're begging for forgiveness, and you're the fool who actually considers giving it. Not me. I decided that if Jessica was going to play games, I was going to change the rules. The first step was simple. Gather information. Jessica wasn't sloppy. I'll give her that. Her phone was always locked, her messages deleted, her schedule vague enough to avoid suspicion. But here's the thing about cheaters. They get comfortable. They get lazy. They think they're careful, but really? They're just arrogant. And I was patient. I started with her laptop. She worked from home, always tapping away at emails and social media for her little furniture business. I paid close attention to her passwords, how her fingers moved when she typed. It took a few days, but eventually I got in. And what I found? It wasn't just an affair. It was a double life. Jessica had been seeing Travis, some middle-aged, recently divorced guy she sold a couch to months ago. It started with casual texting, then flirting, then late-night messages about how she felt stuck in her marriage, how I had no ambition, how she deserved excitement. Excitement. That word came up a lot. Apparently my stable job, my predictable routine, my loyalty, all the things that made our life secure were now boring. Meanwhile, Travis, with his 2 failed marriages and questionable career choices, was the exciting one. It was almost funny. She wasn't just cheating. She was rewriting our entire relationship in her head, making herself the victim, me the dead weight holding her back, and Travis the bold, adventurous man who swept her off her feet. The irony? She still hadn't left. No, she wanted to have her cake and eat it too. So I let her. I played dumb. I kissed her goodbye in the mornings, sent her sweet texts during the day, acted like the doting husband who had no idea his wife was sneaking around. I even started cooking dinner more often, asking about her long workdays, pretending to believe every excuse she fed me. And while she was off playing house with Travis, I got to work. Step 1. Control the narrative. I needed more than just messages. I needed proof. So I did something she never expected. I made her life easier. I encouraged her to go out, to network, to meet clients in person. And every time she left, I noted the time, the place, the pattern. I found out which hotels they met at, what restaurants they went to. I even tracked some of their Uber rides using her linked account, because cheaters are always lazy. And while I was doing that, I set up a few little surprises. Emails scheduled to be sent at just the right moments. Fake appointments booked under her name. Notifications set to forward certain messages to me before she even saw them. Step 2. Make her feel safe. Cheaters get nervous. The guilt, the paranoia, it eats at them. But if you make them feel too comfortable, they stop worrying. That's when they get careless. That's when they start slipping up. So I did everything a good husband is supposed to do. I complimented her more. I suggested we go on a vacation soon, maybe rekindle the spark. I bought her gifts. And every time I did, she fell deeper into the illusion that I was clueless. And step 3? That was going to be the fun part. Because when I finally made my move, Jessica wouldn't just regret cheating. She'd regret ever thinking I was a fool. You ever watch someone set their own house on fire and just sit back roasting marshmallows? That was me. My wife thought she was outsmarting me, living her little secret double life, sneaking around like some master manipulator. What she didn't know was that I had flipped the script. I was no longer the clueless husband in her sad little story. I was the director. And I was about to write the perfect ending. I had everything I needed. Every lie she told. Every sneaky text. Every revealing message between her and Travis. The walking cliché of a homewrecker. Jessica thought she was balancing 2 lives. She had no idea I had already cut the safety net beneath her. And now, it was time for the show. Jessica was proud of her online business. Selling fancy couches, networking, building a reputation, it was her baby. So naturally, that's where I started. I scheduled a little surprise post on her business page. You know, just a friendly PSA to her customers. Important announcement. Due to my poor life decisions, I am no longer able to run this business with integrity. Apologies to all my loyal customers. PS affairs at cheap motels aren't free. It stayed up for 47 minutes before she noticed. But 47 minutes was plenty of time. Screenshots flooded the internet. Comments exploded. What's going on? Is this a hack? Wait, weren't you just promoting strong family values last week? And the best part? I didn't just stop there. Jessica thought she was careful, deleting messages, hiding calls, acting sneaky. But her emails? Oh, she never thought I'd touch those. I forwarded everything, every hotel booking, every flirtatious exchange, every private photo she had ever sent, to a carefully selected VIP list, her family, her clients, and of course, our mutual friends. By the time she even realized what was happening, her phone was already vibrating nonstop. Call after call, message after message, a full-blown digital wildfire. Jessica liked to call herself the breadwinner. She made more money than me, reminded me of it constantly, acted like she was the CEO of our household. But she also had a habit of leaving financial decisions in my hands, because let's be honest, she was too busy sneaking around with Travis to handle real responsibilities. Which is how I knew all her passwords. I drained her savings. Not in a way that could get me in trouble. I wasn't about to commit fraud. But I made investments on her behalf. Oh yes, Jessica was now the proud owner of several ridiculously overpriced memberships, luxury gyms, high-end wine clubs, VIP concert tickets in other states. The best part? They were all non-refundable. Oh, and that emergency fund she had tucked away? Gone. Not stolen, donated. To a charity for betrayed spouses. Because I have a sense of humor. And then, the cherry on top, I booked her a romantic getaway. A full weekend package at the same hotel where she and Travis used to meet. The reservation? In his name. The cost? Charged to her card. I even left a special note at the front desk. Surprise, babe! Can't wait for our special weekend together. Hope you love the room, just like old times. I like to think the front desk staff had a good laugh when two very confused people showed up. This was my favorite part. Because while Jessica was scrambling to fix her reputation and figure out why her bank account was imploding, she still had one safety net left, Travis. And I was about to cut that rope too. See, Travis thought he was winning. Thought he had stolen my wife. Thought he was the alpha male in this situation. But what he didn't know, Jessica wasn't just cheating with him. She had backups. She had been texting other men, flirting, keeping her options open. And I had it all. I printed out every single incriminating message. Every time she made fun of Travis, every time she called him a temporary fix, every time she said she was keeping her options open. I bound them in a neat little booklet and sent it express to his house. The cover page? Congratulations, Travis. You played yourself. But why stop there? His ex-wife, the one he cheated on to be with Jessica, also got a copy. Because karma is a beautiful thing. Travis blocked her. Instantly. Jessica was now completely, utterly alone. The night she finally came home after a full day of damage control, she looked like a ghost. Pale. Shaking. Phone in her hand, scrolling through the wreckage of her life. She stepped inside, expecting something. Maybe a fight. Maybe an argument. Maybe a last chance to beg. Instead, I was already packed. A suitcase by the door. On the kitchen table, an envelope. Inside was a divorce petition, already signed on my end. The evidence of infidelity? Attached. She opened her mouth to speak, but I didn't let her. I simply stood up, picked up my keys, and looked at her one last time. You should have picked a smarter guy to cheat on. And with that, I walked out. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't heartbroken. I was free. The divorce? finalized. And because of the lovely proof of infidelity, she lost everything. The house, most of her money, even some of her business assets. Turns out, courts don't look too kindly on cheaters. And me? Well, let's just say that playing the long game paid off. I took the settlement, left my dead-end grocery store job, and used my cut to start my own business. Something that I actually cared about. And the best part? I wasn't bitter. I wasn't stuck in the past. Jessica? Last I heard, she tried to rebuild her business, but her reputation never fully recovered. Turns out, it's hard to sell luxury furniture when people Google your name and find out you were sneaking around on the side. Travis? Who knows? Who cares? But me? I wake up every morning, stretch out in my own bed, drink my coffee, and smile. Because the best revenge is living better than the people who tried to destroy you. You ever watch a domino effect in real time? One bad decision leading to another, and another, until everything collapses. That's exactly what I orchestrated. Jessica had spent months sneaking around, thinking she was getting away with it. She thought she was in control, thought she was winning. But now, she wasn't just losing. She was drowning. The moment I walked out of that house and left Jessica standing there with our divorce papers, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Freedom. She, on the other hand? She was about to experience something very different. I had expected fallout, but watching it happen in real time was a thing of beauty. Jessica was in full panic mode. Within 24 hours of our breakup, her perfect life was crumbling faster than she could keep up. Her reputation? Destroyed. The social media disaster from my little stunt? It didn't go away. She tried to delete posts, tried to explain things, but the internet doesn't forget. Clients dropped her. Business partners distanced themselves. Even some of her friends, the ones who had always gossiped behind her back, turned on her. Then, her family found out. Oh, you better believe they found out. Jessica came from one of those picture-perfect families that love to play the "we are respectable people" game. Her parents had always looked down on me for being a grocery store worker, even though I never gave them a reason to dislike me. Now their successful daughter was the center of a full-blown scandal. I got a text from her sister, who, by the way, never liked me. "I don't know what Jess was thinking, but I'm so sorry. She really messed up." She wasn't wrong. Her finances? Wrecked. Now let's talk about money. Because while Jessica was dealing with the public humiliation, she was also dealing with something much worse, being broke. Her business was sinking fast. She tried to recover, but bad PR is a death sentence for an online brand. Clients pulled their payments. Refund requests flooded in. And suddenly, all those non-refundable purchases I made for her. Yeah, they hit hard. Oh, and let's not forget the legal side of things. The divorce was moving faster than she could process. The court? They loved my stack of infidelity evidence. That meant she was losing big in the settlement. The house? Mine. The car? Mine. A chunk of her savings? Mine. Jessica had spent years treating me like a financial afterthought, like I was the one who needed her money. Now, she was bleeding cash, and I was sitting comfortably. Her lover? Gone. Now, I knew Travis was a snake. But what I didn't expect was how fast he would abandon ship once things got messy. The second he got that special package from me, the one full of her texts with other men, he ghosted. Straight up vanished. Jessica, desperate and spiraling, called him nonstop. No response. Then, she went to his place. And guess what? His ex-wife was there. Oh yeah. She got the package too. Turns out, Travis didn't just lose Jessica, he lost his own little safety net. His ex-wife? She wasn't happy about the fact that he was still a serial cheater. And now? Now she had proved to use against him in their own divorce proceedings. Travis lost his house. His ex took half of his stuff. And Jessica? Well, she wasn't exactly exciting anymore when she was broke and in crisis mode. So he dumped her. Over text. No closure. No conversation. Just blocked. Jessica had officially lost everything. Now, you'd think at this point she'd accept her fate. That she'd quietly disappear, take the L, and move on. Nope. Instead, she tried one last move. She showed up at my new place. Unannounced. Eyes red, mascara smeared, looking nothing like the polished, put-together woman she used to be. "Mike, please," she said, voice shaking. "Can we talk?" I leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed, looking at the woman who had spent months lying to me, betraying me, mocking me behind my back. And now, she wanted to talk? "What's left to say, Jess?" I asked, calm as ever. "I made a mistake," she whispered. "A huge mistake." I let that sit for a second. Because yeah, she was right. But that didn't mean I had to care. "I lost everything," she continued. "Travis is gone, my business is ruined, I don't even have my own apartment yet, I have nowhere to go. I don't have anyone." And there it was. She didn't come back because she loved me. She didn't come back because she regretted cheating. She came back because she had nothing left. Because she thought I was still an option. But I wasn't. I gave her a small smile, stepped back inside, and shut the door in her face. No yelling. No insults. No dramatic speech. Just silence. She stood there for a moment, stunned. Then, slowly, she walked away. And that was the last time I ever saw Jessica. Fast forward a year. I used the divorce settlement to build something of my own. A business I actually cared about. Something that wasn't just about making money, but about building a life that I wanted. And let me tell you, life has never been better. Jessica? Last I heard, she was still struggling. Her business never recovered. She had to move back in with her parents. She tried dating, but after what happened, her reputation made it hard to find someone who actually trusted her. And Travis? Well, turns out he had zero savings and a mountain of debt. His ex-wife took everything. Karma's a beautiful thing. As for me, I wake up every morning in a home I own. Run a business I built. Live a life I actually enjoy. And the best part? I don't waste a single second thinking about Jessica anymore. Because the best revenge? Is never needing revenge at all. You ever think you finally won, only to realize life still has a few tricks up its sleeve? That was me. I had my revenge. I walked away clean. I rebuilt my life from the ground up, leaving Jessica and all the chaos in the past. I thought I was free. But life? Life loves a sequel. After the dust settled, I moved to a new city. No more small-town grocery store shifts. No more whispers behind my back about the guy who destroyed his cheating wife. I took the money I won in the divorce and invested it wisely. Started my own business. Not some fancy online furniture scam like Jessica's, but something real. Something solid. A chain of mid-sized coffee shops. People need coffee. People trust coffee. And unlike relationships, coffee never betrays you. Business boomed. I became a respected name in my field. I had employees, investors, a future. For the first time in years, I wasn't just surviving, I was thriving. And then, just when I thought I had it all figured out, I met Rachel. Rachel was different. Or at least, I thought she was. She was smart, funny, owned her own business, ironically, a bakery, which paired well with my coffee shops. We met at a networking event, hit it off immediately, and before long, we were inseparable. It was everything my marriage to Jessica wasn't. Exciting, passionate, real, or so I thought. 2 years in, I was ready to take the next step. Marriage. I had the ring. I had the plan. I had it all mapped out in my head, the perfect ending to my redemption arc. And then, just like before, I started noticing the signs. Late nights. Secretive texts. A sudden shift in behavior. Déjà vu. At first, I ignored it. I wanted to ignore it. No way this was happening again. No way lightning struck twice. But then, one night, while Rachel was in the shower, her phone lit up. Unknown number. Last night was incredible. Can't wait to see you again. It hit me like a punch to the gut. All over again. I stared at the screen, heart pounding. My hand shook, but not from anger. From disbelief. I had played this game before. I knew how it ended. I knew exactly what came next. I did nothing. Not that night. Not the next day. I acted normal. I let her dig her grave. And just like Jessica, she did it perfectly. A week later, I found out everything. It wasn't just one guy. It was two. One of them was a supplier she worked with. The other? Some personal trainer from her gym. I guess the whole "I love you" thing didn't mean much when abs were involved. But this time? This time was different. The first time, with Jessica, I had been blindsided. Blown away. Humiliated. I needed revenge to get my power back. But this time? I didn't need revenge. I didn't need to play games. I didn't need to destroy Rachel. I just walked away. That's it. No public humiliation. No elaborate scheme. No secret emails or social media destruction. Just silence. Because sometimes, the best punishment isn't ruining someone. It's showing them that they never had any real power over you in the first place. Rachel tried reaching out. She called, texted, even showed up at my office once. I ignored her. And that drove her insane. She expected drama. She expected fireworks. She expected me to break, to yell, to fight for her. I didn't give her the satisfaction. It's been 3 years since that happened. My business? Stronger than ever. My personal life? More guarded, but better. I learned something important. Revenge is fun, but real power? Real power is walking away without a second thought. Jessica? Last I heard, she's still struggling. Tried to start another business, failed again. Karma keeps knocking on her door, and honestly, I hope she answers. Rachel? She ended up dating one of the guys she cheated with. It lasted about 6 months before he cheated on her. Poetic justice, really. As for me, I'm happy. I travel more. I work on my terms. I have friends I trust, people who actually care about me. Relationships? I take them slow now. No more rushing, no more ignoring red flags. If I've learned anything, it's this. Some people are just wired to cheat. Some people are never satisfied. Some people will always betray you. But the trick? The trick is making sure they never get the chance. I wish I could tell you I found the perfect woman after Rachel. That I got my happily ever after, a beautiful wife, kids, a golden retriever named Max. But life doesn't work like that. Life is messy, unpredictable. And sometimes, the best thing you can do is let go of the idea of a perfect ending. I stopped searching. Stopped waiting for love to prove me wrong. Instead, I built something for myself, something that no one could take away. My business, my success, my freedom. And that's when it happened. Not a new relationship. Not another heartbreak. Something better. It had been years since I last saw my ex-wife. The last memory I had of her was the look on her face when I shut the door in her face, leaving her with nothing but regret and empty excuses. She was just a ghost now. A name I barely thought about. Until she came back. It was a regular Wednesday evening. I was at my coffee shop, going over inventory, when my phone buzzed. Unknown number. Normally, I ignored those, but something made me look. "Mike, it's Jessica. Please don't hang up." I stared at the screen. My first reaction? Amusement. Then curiosity. Then something closer to pity. But I answered. Her voice was shaky, softer than I remembered. "I know I have no right to call you. But I needed to talk to you. Please." I didn't say anything. I just let her keep talking. She told me everything. About how her business never recovered. How Travis had ghosted her. How she bounced from job to job, struggling to rebuild a life that kept falling apart. How she had spent years wondering what would have happened if she hadn't thrown everything away. And then she said it. "I miss you." I let that sit for a second. Let the weight of her words hang in the silence between us. Then I laughed. Not out of cruelty. Not to mock her. But because it was just so predictable. Of course, she missed me. Of course, she regretted it. Because people like her? They never realize what they had until it's too late. I took a deep breath, feeling nothing but peace, and finally spoke. "Jess, I don't miss you at all." And with that, I hung up. That was it. No anger. No bitterness. No gloating. Just nothing. Because she didn't deserve my time, my energy, or my hatred. She was just a mistake. A lesson. A name in a story I no longer cared about. And that was the most beautiful ending I could have ever asked for. People love revenge stories. They love the idea of grand payback, of watching the guilty suffer. But the truth? The real, honest truth? The best revenge isn't making someone else's life miserable. It's making sure they don't exist in yours. It's waking up in the morning without thinking about them. It's laughing, traveling, succeeding, loving your life, while they sit in the ruins of theirs, wondering how they ever lost you. Jessica? Rachel? Travis? They were all just footnotes in my life. People I once knew. People who no longer mattered. And me? I'm free. And there is no greater victory than that.